Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin from Big Cat Rescue with no makeup on because I got the call that we are moving Kimba, and so I came rushing in this morning, and I was going to try something new because it said I could create a link and share it with you guys, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay, well, that's weird. Show. So are you guys seeing this on its side or right side up? There we go. Ah, there's Jamie and Victor and more people behind me, Emma. So what they're doing is checking out, let me turn this around. They are checking out all of the cages to make sure everything in vacation rotation was cleaned up, that we didn't leave any people or lawnmowers or rakes or anything inside. And then they're checking all of the doors to make sure they're snapped in 3 or 4 places and locked. 4 places. They'll also check the big mowing gate here because it looks like they may have mowed in there. It's looking very spiffy. Swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. Oh, here we go. Okay, well, is anybody talking? Because that didn't help. Swiping left, swiping left. Oh, for goodness sakes. I see hearts. I'm not seeing anybody's comments. Maybe it's because I have the Big Cat Cams link on there, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to hide it. And then close it. And now, I can see Deb. Good morning. Good morning. It is a glorious day here in Tampa, Florida. It's 67 degrees. And we're off to check more places. Do you need a ride?
No, I'm going to the tunnel. I'm just going to go and double check some of the tunnels, make sure those were just
Okay. Good morning. So good morning. As soon as all the tunnels are checked down to Kimba, then they will put this tunnel here together. Bonjour, Noir. Hey, Melissa. I'm trying to... Well, I made it through 2 names before getting a stick in my shoe. Hey, Carla. And the reason Brittany is not with us is she's doing a school this morning, so you're going to have to suffer through me and all of my coughing. Hey, Corinna. Howie and I just got back from a week in Washington, D.C. We did a victory lap for the Big Cat Public Safety Act. Gave plaques to the people who were so helpful to us in getting that bill done. And had dinners and lunches with everybody to thank them one more time for the amazing work they all did to pass the Big Cat Public Safety Act. And I certainly want to thank every one of you. Hello there, my booby. Yes, it's very good, Simba. Yeah. Simba was recently neutered. Oh, and recently fed, and now sleepy. Yeah, you're recently sleepy. Got a belly full of yummies. Hey, Deborah, sorry you got COVID. Hey, Dawn.
Okay.
Everything good? Jamie says it's all good. So even though we just walked through the tunnel, Kimba doesn't go through that part. He goes through this part. He'll be coming down that long tunnel there and then into here, and it's locked to where we just were. And then he will go that way out to vacation rotation. While we were in DC, I hardly coughed at all. I can only remember one coughing fit the whole time I was there. So I'm thinking there must be something here in Florida that I'm allergic to. And we recently had a really bad bout of red tide, and I live on a tidal creek, Rocky Creek, where the tide comes in and out every day. So I'm wondering if it's that, although it seems like red tide is cleared and I'm still coughing. Been coughing since middle of December. Today I'm going to go get a bunch of imaging done, x-rays and whatnot. We got Susan and Ryan and Emma and Aaron that are putting the tunnel together. Hey Jeff. Now that I'm standing still, I can actually see some comments here. Hey, Denise. Yes, very handsome Simba. Misty, thank you for joining us. And Stephanie and Rachel and Victoria and Pauline and Leslie and Chris and Nancy and Connie, Paula, Lisa, Peggy, Austin, Susan, Ryan, Bobby Joe, Deborah, Bella, hello Bella, Susan, Amanda, Karen, Rudy, oh my goodness, so many people, Sarah, and Kathy, and Sean, and Chris, and Cheryl, and Melissa, and Dawn, and Deetra, and Jen Payne, and Anne, Kathy, Brian, and Nancy, Misty, and there's a name I haven't seen, Juanita, Barbara, Kendra, Tanya, Cindy. All right. So for any of you who are new, every month a different tiger gets this 2.5 acre vacation rotation. And there are big cat cams. There are cameras, live web cameras in there. So when Kimba's a tiger, when Kimba goes on vacation here in a few minutes, you would be able to log into those cameras anytime at bigcatcams.com and be able to see him even in the far corner over here. The camera is way over there in the furthest corner past that fountain that you see in the pond. It's way over there, but you can see him really clear over here because those Explore cameras are amazing. We have three different kind of cameras here. We have the Explore camera, and we have Nest cameras like you get for your house, and we have Verkada cameras. And so all of those are on our page called bigcatcams.com, and you can log in anytime and see those. I was talking to some people who run another sanctuary, and they were talking about installing cameras, but you know, it's expensive to do, and it costs us about $30,000 a year to run. And I'm sure Deb or Luana here will give you the link to how you can help us keep our cameras online, because there's a lot of work in keeping them running. Anyway, they were talking about doing it, but were concerned about the costs involved, and I suggested maybe they could monetize them, you know, only subscribers or only donors or something having access so that they can actually make sure that they can fund their cameras. I think it's been a huge help for our volunteers and not our volunteer, well, in some cases our volunteers, our donors, our fans, all to be able to see the cats that they love through those cameras when we're still closed to the public. Hello, Belinda and Kathy and Ivor and Janine and Jenny. Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful morning. And I hope Kimba will be cooperative. You never know. I swear if I was going to build this place over again, I would just build tunnels all over the place because they seem to have more fun in the tunnels than anything else. I've noticed that, like, even in some of the biggest cages that we have, like this 2.5 acre vacation rotation, the cats will lay in the tunnels between the two covered roofed areas, which are where we lock them up if the winds get too high and there's concern about a tree maybe falling against the wall. And so we have a smaller area about 1,200 square feet that we can lock them up in, that has a roof on it, and through hurricanes and that sort of thing. But those are joined together with these little tunnels, and so it's like the tightest spot you can possibly get. That's where the cats want to lay. And I think the reason for it is they know they can go out if they want, just like your cat at home. If the door's open, they're happy. They only get freaked out if you close the door. And then the other thing is, I think they feel like really secure because they have the wire all around them. They know nobody can get them, and yet they can see everything around them.
There's one that's like across.
Yeah, we go through a lot of snaps and hog rings. As they wear out, we have to replace them, so that's what they're messing with right now. Should we chant Susan, Emma, Susan, Emma? They got it. Hey, Annie. We want to make sure this is nice and secure before we let a tiger in there. Yeah, Priya is over in a 2-acre enclosure all the time. So her cage is not much smaller than the vacation rotation enclosure. And because she's way over there on the other side of the lake, there aren't any tunnels for her to go running through. And she is not big on loading up into a transport to have us haul her over. Every time we do that, it just takes forever. So that's why people don't get to see her running through the tunnels. We have 2 cats who have huge enclosures way back on the far side of the property there at the very northeast corner, and that's Priya and Duchess. Duchess loads up very easily, so it's easy to send her on vacation, but Priya, not so much. Hey, Kristen, and Delina, and Christina, Mavis, Gail, and Kelly, Megan, and Minsal. Good morning, everyone. All right. So what they're doing right now is making sure they have all the snaps in all the right places, all the locks in all the right places. And then they will go after Kimba Tiger. We have these safety flaps inside the tunnels. So what Victor's doing right now is unlocking that. That way, if there were a cat where she just pulled that door open, if there were a cat in vacation rotation, you don't want just that guillotine door between the cat and an opening. So by having that extra flap there, and then where you see the pipe between Ryan and Jamie, there is a third door to make sure that it's completely safe. And we're going to go unlock some more tunnels. Find us a tiger to move. And he probably won't like Victor. Well, that's because you're on a machine. It's like we aren't real if we're on machines. And I've noticed, like, men on tours on the golf carts, they're fine. If they stand up, that's when they're not fine. I know, we're not paying any attention to you, are we? Well, it was a really bad place for that tree to fall.
Yeah.
Right where we have to hook a door. Yes, please do ask any question you have. Karen is here. She can answer your questions. I saw Deb is here to answer questions. And a number of our other online volunteers who answer questions all the time. And they want you to know as much as we can possibly tell you about these cats and why they should not be in cages. I'm curious as to whether or not they have dropped a door over here to make sure Simba stays in his spot. And I see they have. Okay. So the reason I was being quiet there because I was like, wait a minute. And that's the confusing thing about the way our cages are built. We built these rounded walls because they don't require any kind of supports. And that way, during a hurricane, the wind can blow right through them. But there would have been an issue here if he had not been locked away, because even though this door is shut, there's an opening right here. We don't want these two tigers to get nose to nose as Kimba starts coming down through there. And I see that they still have this one latched, so I'm not very sure why. Hey, Jamie, do you mean for this one gate to still be latched? You do? Okay. I'm guessing she wants to get the tunnels put up across the road for Kimba, because he has to come across the road down here before she opens that one up. What do you think? I know. You're so busy building tunnels. Can we just watch you? Can we just watch you? Sometimes if you linger in front of him, he'll start to bite his leg or suck on his tail. And we were really hoping that neutering him will diminish that. And it seems already to be a little bit helpful. Did they go down this way?
They're on that side.
Oh.
They're double checking that Kimba is 2 doors away from where we're about to be.
Good plan.
With a pole. And Jasmine is also 2 doors in the pole. Yeah. Just for fun. So she didn't get involved. She doesn't need to be involved. Mind your own business.
We're going to go visit with Aria while they put that tunnel together, because that could take a while. And as she just said, they locked Jasmine way down so that she's not all up in here getting in our business and distracting Kimba from his trip. I think the reason the cats like the tunnel so much is they can see all the other cats, so they can stop by and be like, I'm going on vacation, you're not. Like a bunch of 3-year-olds taunting each other. Hey there, my beautiful Aria. Who's the foofy? Who is the foofiest tiger? Oh man, she's so beautiful. So very beautiful, Aria. You got a full belly too? You were gonna take a nap, except there's all this excitement going on. You can learn all about Aria's story by going to bigcatrescue.org/Aria, A-R-I-A. And you can find out about all of our cats at bigcatrescue.org/catbios, C-A-T-B-I-O-S. We also have a cool little feature there. I think it's called Stories or something like that. But it's like a short little video clip of each of our cats with their story. Something Isabel has been working on recently. Hey, Roz and Olivia. Afternoon where you are, eh? Hey, Gato. If there wasn't a T on the end of gato, that's Spanish for cat. Hey, Patricia. I know. She's like, I'm too tired to even come over there and rush you. Hey, Roseanne and Sue. So peaceful out here this morning. The lake looks like glass back behind her. Don't know if you can see that. You can hear the birds singing. You can hear the roar of the traffic from the expressway, but I like to pretend that's the roar of the ocean. Hey, Kate. Life is what we make it, right? All right, we're gonna go see how they're doing with that tunnel. I love these little yellow birds. They're so cute. They have a real penchant for mirrors, though, and they get on my truck mirrors and just make a mess. Kimba is kind of shy, and so I'm not going to be up close with him like we often are when we're walking them to vacation rotation. I'm going to give him some space. Let him think this was all his idea. Hey, Rick. We love big cats here, too. You're in the right place. Hey, Bonnie and John. I see my screen protector is cracked. Nothing like staring at it in the bright morning sun to see all of the flaws in it. I think I've got one in my desk. Yeah, she did look sleepy, didn't she? It is beautiful here. Apple Pay. Yeah, I don't think we have Apple Pay. We have Amazon Pay as a way that you can give, but I don't think Apple Pay is. And I really love the idea of Apple Pay. We are all about Apple products here. All but a couple of us use Macs. We all, of course, use iPhones and iPads and Apple Watches. We even use the Apple Watches to help us with our safety out here around the cats. So anybody who is working around our big cats has to be wearing an Apple Watch so that if they fall, it alerts their contacts, and immediately, and the contacts that we have them put in there, of course, are our main people here, the operations manager, Jamie, and I, so that we can all come rushing to their aid if anything were to happen to them. So even despite the fact that we use all these Apple products, I find Apple to be just really, excuse me, difficult when it comes to the banks that they'll work with. I work with Bank of America and Citibank. I mean, they're big banks, and they don't accept my credit cards. So I'd love to be able to pay with Apple Pay because I always have my Apple Watch on and my iPhone, so it'd be so easy just to swipe those at the register, but they do not like my banks. So I've never been able to do it. And I think it may be because I have corporate accounts. I don't know whether or not that's true of my personal accounts, but I don't buy that much personally except groceries. So what Jamie's doing right now is sending Victor all the way around to unlock that gate that I was at earlier, and Aaron to unlock a flap down that way. Doesn't take long for nature to take over these tunnels, does it?
No.
No.
I couldn't open it while I was weed whacking on Friday. I did this part. This part looks great. Look at that. Over there.
We will look at this
Look at
very
that.
nicely
Yeah,
weed whacked
don't
area.
look anywhere else. Just right there.
I think he can hop over it.
He's scared of the grass.
I so wish we had built those taller than people so that you could
It's
just
so
walk
hard
in
to
there.
stay inside of there. You try to weed eat the tunnels. It's like, okay, go.
One of my very first red shirt projects was weeding the tunnel to vacation, crawling around and you hit your head every.
Ugh.
I survived that in August. I was staying.
You can do that anywhere.
We used to make the volunteers swim out into the middle of the lake to get their shirts when they graduated to green shirts. So, I mean, we could have made that the new challenge is you have to weed whack a tunnel.
I think I prefer the tunnel.
Yeah. Rolling on my hands and knees, pulling up weeds, laying on my head.
Will he be able to open that to the other side all by himself without somebody pulling it?
Yeah, it just kind of rests.
Yeah, Summer's camera really picks up a lot of bird songs over there. It's really nice to listen to that in the morning.
You really could make one of those, like,
Bird tapes.
yeah, one of those nature soundtracks.
Did you know that YouTube has been dinging us saying that we were using taped bird sounds? And it's like, no, we're not. That's the sound of the sanctuary. Which makes me think somebody else has taped that and copyrighted it and said it was their tape. Because it just keeps happening over and over again.
Yep. Not even 20 minutes.
Emma's going to go get some food as a lure. I'm going to step back from all of this. Good thing she has long legs because it's a long walk back to her golf cart.
She has this food she can catch up with. Do what now?
Can he get there through
You'll
there?
have to go around. He'll have to go around to get the pole. Over the staircase.
Glad we have staircases. It helps.
It reminds me of that device that you created. I want to say Rubik's Cube. You did not create that. What was that thing called? Yes, Rube Goldberg. That's what our tunnels remind me of. I have heard about the issues with tigers in South Africa, and we have been working on that for many years. In fact, Jamie here had been to CITES, gosh, years ago, and back then the problem was that China wanted to farm tigers for their parts, and because China invests so much in South Africa, I think that they were also involved in all of the tiger farming that was going on there. And it's illegal worldwide to sell tiger parts. But I think they were banking on I know that they were banking on the extinction of the tiger, because as long as in the US we allowed cub petting, it was creating a smokescreen for the illegal activities like poaching. And so what happened when they went to CITES was, as we're trying to get these areas where either the tigers previously lived, like China or Thailand or Laos or Malaysia or any of these other countries, to protect their tigers from these tiger farming operations, they would point to the US and say, you guys don't even know where your tigers are, which was true. So we had no credibility on the international stage. And that's why it was so important to pass the Big Cat Public Safety Act, because all of those cubs that were being bred every year, used for cub petting props and then discarded, were creating this legal smokescreen. Because if you got caught with tiger teeth or a tiger skin, you could just say, that was my pet tiger, and nobody could do anything to you. But now, if you get caught with those items and it's not legal to be able to have them as pets, then that enables law enforcement to much more easily enforce the Endangered Species Act laws against having those. And that can be 5 years in jail and $20,000 fine per occurrence. So it becomes much less profitable to take those kind of chances by killing tigers and importing their parts. Oh, look, he's in the tunnel. Oh, I'm going to be quiet for a minute. He thinks he's being so sneaky. Like, they don't know I'm loose. Oh my goodness.
It's kind of fun stalking a tiger.
Okay, well, he turned back in the tunnel because, like I said, they love to play in the tunnel. So Jamie just asked Ryan to go behind him and start shutting doors behind him so that he can't do this all day long. So back to South Africa. The wildlife minister in South Africa came down really hard against these pay-to-play schemes where people could pay to bottle feed a baby tiger, bottle feed a lion, or walk with lions and walk with tigers, and all of the crap that they were doing in South Africa. So now you've got a bunch of these cats on these farms where they would initially make a lot of money off of them, using them as pay-to-play props, and then as soon as they were too big to use that way, they would kill them for their parts. There goes Kimba again, back across. Oh, he's so sneaky. Gotta love tigers. All of the work that we've been doing here in the United States to end the flood of cubs into private hands will eventually be able to save the tiger in the wild, and will put an end to these practices like what you're seeing in South Africa. There is a huge problem in South Africa because now there's thousands of lions and tigers who were bred to be photo props that are now waiting to be harvested for their parts, which is illegal. And what are they going to do with them? Who can build sanctuaries big enough to take in thousands of tigers? So about the only thing anybody can do is never, ever, ever share or like an image of somebody posing with a big cat. Every time you do that, you are causing the horrible fate of those big cats in the wild and in these horrible breeding camps. And we just have to put an end to it by educating. Never, ever a good situation where you can get away with petting a cat or walking it on a leash and not be causing that kind of harm. Here he comes again. Sneaking through the tunnels. See if I can zoom in more. And he's turning around again. I think that it's going to require a lot of public pressure on governments who have allowed these kind of activities. They've turned a blind eye to the resulting illegal things that were happening because of the money that it was generating by bringing people as tourists to do these kind of stupid and cruel things with the big cats. And so I think it should be the government's responsibility to provide permanent, long-time care for all of these cats that should be seized from their owners before they turn them into parts. It's not something that the sanctuary community even can do because we don't have any policing power. We can't make them give up the cats. And there's no way that they're going to give up the cats for free to somebody when they could kill them and sell them for a lot of money. So it's a horrible situation in South Africa, but we have done just about everything we possibly can do here in the United States now that the Big Cat Public Safety Act has passed to put an end to this worldwide. We can now finally be the example we should have been all along. Never should have taken this long. Ryan, I think if you go back there so he doesn't want to go back there, you might serve as a good deterrent. Nothing wrong with Ryan. He just doesn't like men. So just by parking Ryan back on the other side, maybe he'll feel more comfortable coming through. And I'm even going to pull back further here to see if that will help. I'm sorry not to give you guys a good view. Simba's like, come on, Kimba, it's not so scary. I do it all the time. It's fun on vacation. Hey, Mary O'Neill and Mary Bogamo. You're not helping matters. No, you're not. All right. I see Emma has just crossed the road with Kimba in tow. And if you see Aaron and Susan coming up on the left there, he's headed toward them. And he just turned around and went back toward his house. Yeah, Simba is a pro. Hey, Susan Mesna. Yes, you heard somebody say your name, huh? Oh my goodness. Saying your name. Yes, it's always on cat time around here. For them, this is like the highlight of their day, the day that the time that they can keep us doing what they want to do instead of what we want them to do. What Emma just did back there was gave him another piece of meat, so he's like, I could just keep this up all day as long as you got meat in that bucket, lady. I'm going to be very quiet right now. Is there anything more you can shut? Oh man, into the line.
She got the snacks. I just have walnuts in my pocket. I'm gonna be like those.
Walnuts. You are a walking squirrel snack farm.
Once he gets past where Victor is, he can shut another door.
He got so close.
Yeah.
He was like right at the door. Then he turned around.
He's being nicer than usual. Usually, I mean, he's hissed at me, but he hasn't growled or roared or anything, which is kind of typical for this process.
Well, that's wonderful. Less testosterone to assert his authority with. It's like, if you guys are going to talk about my balls, I'm out of here. So rude. We're so rude. So I guess he's going to double check this door, make sure it really is closed.
I'm going. Yep, dead end.
No, I think he went in his tunnel. It's very sneaky.
He's looking for the breadcrumbs he left. Find his way back.
Yeah. Well, on vacation, you can be the farthest away from everybody.
There's an incentive for you. When they're cats, when there are not cats going on vacation, Simba usually has access to these tunnels. So he's getting a really good whiff of who the tiger was who was walking here recently.
We're getting out of the stinky tunnel. Kimba, come on.
Oh, goodness.
That's called the Fleming response. They have a Jacob's organ that they are pulling, or he is pulling the air over the Jacob's organ to get a better scent on what it is he's smelling there.
Come on. Kimba.
It's stinky out there, too.
Vacation stinky, I promise. Probably stinkier. I don't know, man. Alright, come on. Come on, baby. Nice that you get to have a leisurely stroll. Or walk. Hey, come on.
Once he goes down that straightaway and makes a right-hand turn, there's a gate that Victor can shut behind him. Problem is, Victor can't be too close to that gate because he's not fond of men. Jamie has a pipe. Maybe she can push the door shut without Victor having to get too close. He's just such a good boy, Simba. I know. You just want to be a part of this, don't you? So chuffy. This whole crowd of people here, you don't want to be here. Once he gets out to vacation rotation, you guys can go to bigcatcams.com. We got the vacation rotation camera back up and running, and you'll be able to watch him have fun on his vacation.
The home stretch.
The hardest part, getting across that road there. They don't like the way that feels on their feet when they're walking on the wire on top of gravel. And he's on vacation. And he's running. Oh, right straight to his platform. Checking that out. His favorite den is out there because it's so far from everybody. He loves to be by himself. What they're trying to do is get him to come down to his feeding area so that they can safely lock this up down here. It'd be a lot easier if he'd go in there, but I'm not banking on that. Thank you for all the patience.
I'm glad he's enjoying himself. Emma, it's okay. Should I already get a video of your Where did he even go? He's gone. No, he comes home. Yeah, he does. He's not like that.
So he's in his den back there, and that's probably the last we're going to see of him until we vacate the area. Oh, there's his little face peeking out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Kind of anticlimactic right there at the very end. Appreciate everybody who donated. Sadly, Facebook has changed their algorithm, so I can't see when people donate to be able to thank you, but thank you very, very much. It helps us take care of these cats and make sure that they have fun vacations and great food and everything that they need. You guys are absolutely awesome.